Oh my God, that I do. Somebody please say it ain't so. Janelle Monae just revealed some shocking information about Diddy and Prince that nobody ever heard before. I hope she's telling the truth because Prince is no longer here. And I would hate to hear that he did these horrible things that this woman is alleging in her testimony, not only about Diddy, but Prince as well.
Who has the best parties, Prince or Diddy?
Ooh, that's so tough. Because both of them know how to fucking party.
They're legendary
It's
partiers.
different. It's different. I wonder if I never went to a party where they did it together.
The world would
That
probably
would've been,
end.
yeah, it would explode.
Damn, not Janelle Monae talking about how both Prince and Diddy's parties hit differently. After everything we've heard about these parties, was she simply commenting on the vibe and energy, or was there something deeper behind the comparison? Honestly, given what we know now about the allegations surrounding Diddy, does her remark take on a new, more layered meaning? Well, we may be in luck because word on the street is that Janelle may be the next person to reveal what she saw at Puppy's Flavor Camp. And allegedly, y'all are not ready for these deets. So just for a bit of background, Janelle Monae was signed to Diddy's Bad Boy Records at the beginning of her career, releasing her debut EP and first 2 studio albums through the label. Allegedly, when Diddy saw her perform, he said it felt like catching the Holy Ghost. Literally, like he was blown away, and ended up signing her to Bad Boy Records in 2006.
I found her on MySpace. Wow. Yeah, I found her on MySpace, and she happened to be also working with Big Boy from Outkast. And I called Big Boy because I hit on MySpace and she didn't hit me back. So, so I had to use other angles, and I finally tracked her down. And we made this unique deal where she has a record label, and you know, she does her own thing, and I'm just here to support her. And she's one of like our generation's greatest voices, along now with your recording artist,
Yes.
who I must say is one of the greatest voices I've ever heard.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yes,
he's amazing.
About how they worked together, Janelle emphasized that their arrangement was a partnership rather than a traditional artist-labeled relationship. She retained full creative control, with Diddy acting as endorser who trusted her vision, and she said that she appreciated Diddy's support, noting his inspiration from her work and encouragement of her ideas and label, the Wonderland Art Society. The partnership meant that Diddy actively promoted her work, including co-releasing her debut LP, The Arch Android, and celebrating her subsequent album, The Electric Lady, at a high-profile release party in New York City. At the event, Diddy even praised Janelle Monae as the hardest-working woman in show business, and he also said in a different interview that Janelle Monae was never subjected to his controlling nature. In his words, "It was a great time for me and her, because I was at a time of evolving, at a time of another level of maturity where I wasn't such a control freak, and it was time for me to recognize that other people maybe had ideas that I didn't understand, and I would still be able to support it and play my position." Well, while Diddy was instrumental in providing a platform for her early success, Janelle Monae has also spoken about the significant mentorship and support she received from Big Boy of Outkast, particularly in developing her unique artistic vision. Basically, he was one of the first major artists to believe in her talent, helping her get discovered and supporting her through his Purple Ribbon label. Big Boy's influence didn't stop at exposure. He also shared values that stuck with Janelle and emphasized the importance of staying close to people who truly support her.
You worked hard, and I think with Big Boy was just, I mean, I got to give it to him. You know, the reason why Puff even knew about me was because of the work that Big Boy gave to me. I was singing backup. I was also on Idlewild. You know, he was really, really promoting me with Purple Ribbon. He taught me the importance of, I think, staying with family.
In addition, Janelle has also credited Prince as a powerful mentor who helped shape not just her artistry, but her understanding of the music business. She said that one of the most important lessons she learned from him was the importance of ownership, and that Prince encouraged her to fight for what she was owed and to take control of her work on the business side. We all know that beyond contracts and rights, Prince was also a champion of creative freedom. And based on what Janelle said, he pushed her to make music fearlessly, without trying to fit into any box or genre.
Prince is obviously the blueprint for, you know, owning your, you know, as an artist, not being afraid to fight for what you are owed on the business side of things.
Right.
Okay, back to Diddy. Given how Diddy spoke about Janelle, it's hard not to wonder what Janelle Monae might have known, or at least sensed, about Diddy's alleged actions. As someone who described their partnership as rooted in mutual respect and creative alignment, could she have seen signs behind the scenes? And did she distance herself over time for reasons beyond just artistic evolution? Well, to a lot of people, as soon as Janelle mentioned that both Prince and Diddy's parties hit differently, that's when they knew she knows. Honey, Prince already came up in the trial when a former assistant, Mia, recounted an incident at a 2010 party where Prince's security had to intervene when Diddy was attacking Cassie. She said that on that night, Diddy told her to stay with Cassie at a hotel to keep her company, as he told Cassie that he would be with his kids. Then, Mia claimed a friend called her and told her and Cassie about a party at Prince's house. The two ultimately went to Prince's party and were having fun dancing and watching him perform, when to their surprise, Diddy showed up. Apparently, they both started running, but Diddy followed them, caught up with Cassie after she fell into the bushes at Prince's front lawn, and roughed her up until Prince's security intervened. The ex-employee then said that the next day, the head of human resources told her Diddy was suspending her without pay for attending Prince's party with Cassie. Yes, Diddy and Prince partied together, and let's not forget that Prince has also been accused of very similar things to Diddy.
Prince wrote that song.
Yeah.
Did you ever actually meet Prince?
We did meet once, but we didn't get on very well. We tried to beat each other up.
Really?
We didn't get on too well, no.
You tried to beat each other up?
Well, it was more he tried to beat me up and I was defending myself, but...
No.
Why?
Because
Hang on, that doesn't sound like a joke. That sounds serious.
Oh, it's not a joke, no. It's not a joke at all. It was a very frightening experience, actually.
So, Janelle's mentors, ironically being Prince and Diddy, child, that should definitely tell us a lot about what she may have seen or heard. And maybe this is why she never became a bigger star than she is. Maybe she's one of those artists whose success was blocked by Diddy after he was done using her like he's done with other artists, or after they saw and heard things they were not supposed to. I mean, Diddy's former artists have honestly been through the most, and Tanya Blount was one of those who was screwed over by Diddy. If she knew that Diddy was going to screw her over, she would not have joined Bad Boy. And because there are contracts involved in such things, she ended up being stuck with someone who literally destroyed her career. Well, Tanya herself said that in the beginning, Diddy was involved in her second album, but after some time, interest in the album flagged. And as a result, although 2 years passed, only 2 songs, I Love Him and The Last Time We Made Love, were released. Then there was also Craig Mack, who was also done dirty by Diddy. Actually, there was a time Craig Mack talked about how he really wanted to do some songs he agreed to do with someone he refused to mention, but he said that he kept recording, and this person, presumably Diddy, never gave him any money. Apparently, when Craig stopped recording, the person started threatening him, and Craig organized a meeting with the person and called one of his homeboys. According to Craig, when they saw that, they pulled back, and Craig was sure that they had intentions of harming him.
So I said, all right, meet me up there at 7 o'clock. And I went and got one of my man, I'm not gonna mention his name either. He came with me up there, okay? And they saw him and they fell back because they was gonna do something to me, but they didn't. So we talked about it, came to definite, look, no cash, no record. I'm not gonna be sitting here going in the studio all night, every night, busting my ass. And I ain't seeing nothing from it.
Unfortunately, Craig Mack died at the age of 47, but he left very clear instructions saying that Diddy should not be a part of his funeral. Someone like Carl Thomas also said the reason why he left Bad Boy Records was because when his brother died, Diddy called him a week later and asked when he was returning to the studio because he had some hits for him. And he didn't even consider that his artist was still mourning the loss of his brother. And Lil Jerome actually had about a good 13 songs ready for an album to come out before he had a nervous breakdown and left Bad Boy.
It was reflux, I think. Nobody really knew for sure what was going on because, I went to a doctor and he kind of like examined, he put stuff down in my nose, he gave me all kinds of medication. He said it was allergies and he didn't know. And then later on, actually it wasn't until I got released from Bad Boy that I found out that it was reflux. So nobody knew what it was. I didn't know, my dad didn't know, the company didn't know, and the album just never came out. And eventually I did have a nervous breakdown.
There's also Mace, who after being ruined by Bad Boy, resurfaced as a preacher, saying that if the devil can use Diddy for his work, God can also use him to counter Diddy.
If the devil can use him aggressively, then I want you to know God can use me aggressively. I want you to also know You may not like my delivery. You might say, well, listen here, why did you say it that way? I cannot speak to people outside of the church the way I speak to people inside the church. I gotta know my audience. Isn't that what you would say if you're talking to a people? The first thing you gotta know is your audience. And I also want you to know that the thing that's really stirring up so much confusion is because for years, these guys have organized a mass organized effort to slander my name behind the scenes. So every time I say something, you're just seeing my part because their part is behind the scenes.
Speaking of people turning to religion after Bad Boy, another person who followed the same route was Loon. And let me not even get started with the bands that were ruined, by the way, or someone like Biggie who was possibly unalive. Well, we can all agree that the person who probably witnessed the worst things was Usher.
Well, I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital.
I mean, we've seen reports about how in Kim Porter's alleged tell-all book that was supposed to come out before she died, she wrote that Usher's mom confronted Diddy when she found out about what was happening. As for how Kim found out, allegedly, while Kim was going through security footage from Uptown Records, because she had a feeling Diddy was playing her, she allegedly came across footage of Diddy and Andre Harrell doing you-know-what. Obviously, Kim did not expect to find footage of Diddy and Andre when she was going through the recordings, but she did, and she kept the footage. Allegedly, based on reports, Kim didn't just get her hands on footage of Diddy and Andre, she also had video footage of Diddy allegedly taking advantage of Usher and kept the footage. But just before she died, someone broke into her house and only 2 laptops were stolen. Plus, Usher himself said quite a lot about the things he witnessed at Puffy's Flavor Camp.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
Basically, all these former artists have said the same things about what they witnessed when working with Diddy, and that makes people believe that Janelle saw these things too. And guess what? There's growing speculation that Janelle Monae may be on the verge of breaking her silence about what she witnessed during her time working closely with Diddy. Rumors suggest she has hinted, albeit subtly, that she saw more than she let on, and that those behind-the-scenes experiences may have played a role in her decision to distance herself from him and Bad Boy altogether. Some even allege that Janelle feels her career was strategically limited, that despite her immense talent and originality, certain forces, possibly tied to what she witnessed, kept her from becoming the global superstar she had the potential to be. As for the exact details, baby, we are just gonna have to wait.
Oh my God, DOCZ, somebody please say it ain't so. Big Boy of Outkast was involved in this too. Diddy held her captive. Prince was having those wild parties as well. Y'all seen the Dave Chappelle skits, basketball shorts all the way up to their thighs, playing for pancakes, extra syrup, Eddie Murphy, Charlie Murphy. Y'all seen the Dave Chappelle skits, man. I knew Prince was a wild boy, but not this wild. Janelle Monae should have probably kept this to herself, but she living in her truth, whatever that is. I don't know if she like boys, she like girls, she all over the place with it, but she got a big fan base. And I believe that she gonna age gracefully. She might be a vampire. They say the same thing about Prince. I don't believe none of those things. Y'all gotta let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section, because I really can't even call it no more. Is she lying on Prince? Is what she said about Diddy true? I'm over here scratching my head because I'm confused, man. I don't know what to believe these days. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Make sure y'all do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button too. And for you beautiful ladies out there, I'll risk my motherfucking life.
Risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl.